Being a filmmaker, it's like a fire burning in your belly that, you know, you can't sleep at night because you're thinking about a project that you want to be involved in, or you're formulating. People say to me, how do you know when you make a good film? Well, I tell people that how do you know when you make a good film is when you make a film and people go see it and they go to a coffee shop or a bar after they've watched the movie and they talk for hours on end about what they just watched. A movie that makes you cry, makes you laugh, makes you forget about all the hell that you're going through in your personal life. That's when you know you made a good film. And true filmmakers want to strive for that all the time, making a good film that affects people, and that they wake up every morning thankful for that they get to do this for a living. If I couldn't do this, I don't know what I would do. I mean, this is what I've wanted since I was a kid. It's not about the money. This is not an industry that, you know, you can actually say that I can have a very fruitful financial life doing it. I live a very meager existence, but I'm doing something that I'm deeply passionate about. And I wouldn't change that for anything. If this is what you want to do, and if this is the fire that burns in your belly, then do it. And don't let anybody ever tell you that you can't. Because in our industry, it's we hear that word a lot. You can't do this, you can't do that. You know, nobody will ever go see it, nobody wants it. That's bullshit. You do what you are empowered to do, and don't let anybody stop you. And that's how I've lived my life in this business. I said within 15 years of getting in this business, I want to make a movie. Oh, that'll never happen. Things don't happen that fast in this country. Well, it did. I produced my first movie within 15 years of getting in the business. And I wasn't going to take no for an answer, and I won't. People said, oh, you're doing a distribution company, that's crazy. You're not going to get any films out there. I'm doing it. So no is not an option for me. I mean, 1 week was one of the greatest filming experiences of my life. I'd never worked with Mike McGowan before, and he is amazing. And doing a film where you're actually taking a group of people, and in our case it was about 18 people, and traveling on a bus, in a pickup truck and a van, and pulling a motorcycle across the country from Toronto to Tofino over the course of 3 weeks, when anything can happen, and in some cases it did. I mean, we were about 150 kilometers north of Thunder Bay, and the bus broke down. It wouldn't start. And we had to keep going, like we could not stop. And so about the key people that were involved in the camera department, and Mike and Josh, jumped in the vans and kept driving. And I said, okay, so here's what we have to do. We have to call Enterprise in Thunder Bay and get a couple of vans up here, and then the bus driver has to stay back. And we called a bus company and had a replacement bus come up, and it'll be up in the next day, and then he'll keep driving and meet us in Medicine Hat. And that's what we did. Without that kind of adaptation to a situation, we would have been hooped. So I recently won the 2011 Green Screen Award for environmental practices on Score Hockey Musical, which meant a huge amount of things to me. It proves to me that what I was doing was the right thing, and that what the show did as a whole, the crew, the cast, everybody involved in helping the show go green, was recognized as being important. I hope that people that see that decide that they're going to do something as well. It's important to me. We have an ability to make change and change our future, and I think these kinds of awards for recognizing those kinds of efforts, I think, are really, really important. On Score, we did things like we had a bunch of hockey equipment donated by Canadian Tire and a few other people, and we called the Wayne Gretzky Foundation. We donated over 30 hockey bags full of hockey equipment to kids who couldn't afford to get their own hockey equipment. Those kinds of things make a difference. All the wardrobe on that show was donated or sold. We did very little construction, so we didn't throw a bunch of lumber and paint into landfills and things like that. There was not one plastic bottle allowed to be used on the show. I bought proper water containers for everybody, and we put those water coolers all over the place, and people had to use those, I was not going to buy one water bottle on that show. And those are the kinds of things you can do very easily. No mystery. We did green, we did composting, we did the whole shoot and match. And it's no effort. But the payoff is huge. I was tired of watching my friends make really great movies and nobody was seeing them. I was tired of making my own movies and nobody was seeing them. And they were sitting on the shelf collecting dust. And I said, enough's enough, I'm going to do something about it. And that's where I decided I was going to open up my own indie film distribution company geared towards Canadian films made for under $1.25 million. And that deserved to get an audience and deserved to be seen in any format, in any way, shape, or form. The response from making my announcement on November 22nd nationally has been overwhelming. I've had over 30 filmmakers from across the country that have said, my God, I can't believe that you're doing this. This is so amazing. This is so important. Finally, somebody who's actually going to address low-budget Canadian films. I don't necessarily believe that standard marketing P&A practices for feature films work anymore. Things like radio ads, TV ads, newspaper ads. I feel that those things people don't pay attention to anymore. What people pay attention to is internet. What are people talking about? How are they talking about something? Who are they talking to? And how are they being talked to? Things like Facebook are great, Twitter is great, but there's other things that you can do. And word of mouth is huge. And Moonpoint, for example, we started a Facebook page while we were shooting. And we've had goals along the way, how to get fans. And every time we hit a goal, the fans would be given a present, almost, like a new trailer. Like we gave out T-shirts, we gave out autographs, we did prize packs, things like that, to get people to stay interested. That kind of marketing works. There's been some indie films in the States, Four-Legged Monster, Good Dick, these kinds of films, which were indie films that were made for virtually no money, and they created their own campaigns to get people to talk about their films and help get audiences to request it across the country in the United States. That's kind of what I want to try to do here. I believe it works. I don't believe you have to spend bazillions of dollars on marketing and P&A to get people to go see your movie. Seeing a Canadian film should not be a one-time occasion. It should be a regular thing. And I also believe that we need to not only make these films and get them out there not only for ourselves but for our country. And going to see films should be an event. You should create things that entice people to go and see your movie, not just about going to see your film, obviously, but if you provide things like Q&As. With Moonpoint, we had some of the most amazing Canadian singer-songwriters and bands that were kind enough to give us a song for our film. People like City and Colour, people like M. Grunner, Danny Michel, Oh Susanna, Cuff the Duke. These people, like some of the biggest artists our country has to offer, believed in the project, believed that we were making this film all for the right reasons, doing things that nobody's ever done before, getting people to talk about what they witnessed. We've done 2 screenings on Moonpoint. We've had a merchandise table where we have our DVDs and we have our T-shirts and things like that, and our cast is there and our director is there, and before they even go into the movie theater, they're buying T-shirts. I can't print them fast enough. They're buying copies of the movie on DVD and they haven't even seen the movie yet. Why is that? Well, it's because we're doing something special. And I think every time we make a Canadian film, we're doing something special. So these are the kinds of things that I want to do. And talking to, you have to know who your audience is. If you don't know who your audience is for that particular film, then you're wasting your time. I think we've identified truly who our audience is for Moonpoint, and those people are coming to see the film. We make great films, and people are going to go see those great films for the first time.